That was that was scary. I was trying to adjust the camera before I pressed record and the phone fell over. I'm like, great, I gotta be in like the most uncomfortable I'm already perched on here like this. I gotta be in the most uncomfortable position to fix the camera. Lame. It's okay, the camera's fixed, everything's fine. The blood has been washed neatly from my hands. Okay, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. So, I guess my low is the evening there really wasn't much family time because at the last minute my mom and dad had to watch my nephews. But there was definitely, but my high, and this is what my high is. My high is there was a lot of family time in the afternoon because I get to my mom's place, right? And I get there earlier than she does. Not like 2 minutes after I arrive, my mom arrives with my 3 nephews. So I got to play with them. It was pretty sweet. It was really sweet. I got to play with them for a while. Although, I have to say for one of them is starting to get very territorial when it comes to like the toys he plays with. Like, he has something set up and he does not want anyone to touch it. Holy cow. Like, get this. He was so gung-ho about that even as he was leaving, and he has like, because he plays with a bunch of toy cars, he leaves like a whole bunch of toy cars on the floor. And, you know, my mom is leaving. There's a mess. Of course, I'd be happy to clean up. I'd love for that to be my act of kindness. And he's like, don't pick it up. Leave it there. Okay. So, I guess I could say my act of kindness was I did what my nephew said. You know, I respected my nephew's wishes. And my mom probably cleaned it up off the ground. It's fine. But, again, you know, really the twins, but especially the one I just talked about in question, are getting to that age where they're much more self-aware. They're very passionate about the things they like in that moment, as any little kid does. And when they don't get their way, they scream. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, we try and be okay with it. I mean, well, okay in the sense like we say, now we don't do that. You know, it's okay to feel sad, but it's not okay to throw a tantrum. We pretty much talk like that. You know, this ain't the days of like the 70s and 80s where the things that a parent would do to a kid if he threw a tantrum were not much like that. Let's just say I'm glad we live in better times. But my act of kindness straight up is I did help my mom watch my nephews, and I did have a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was totally a lot of fun. So, might as well talk about hot ones right now. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Good Friday. This is actually supposed to be a pretty somber day. Come to think of it, here's what's really freaky. Like, I mean, there's plenty of blue sky up there, but when they say, like, red sky morn, what they mean is, like, the sun is, like, reflecting off the clouds, and it looks red. See, for those of you who don't know, it's a red sky night, sailors delight, red sky morn, sailors be warned. It's basically a weather phenomenon. And we got a red sky morn. Why is that significant to today? Well, today is Good Friday. This is the day that Jesus Christ, died on the cross. That actually happened at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. My father's going to be going to church then, and, I think I may join him. Why not? I get out of work at 4. So going to church is perfectly fine. So yeah, I think I just might do that because seriously, like church is going on all days of the week. Really, there's a service every day of the week, but especially for like this Holy Week, really any Holy Week, but Holy Week right around this time of year, like that's when there's much more concentrations of it, especially when it comes to the fact that we're getting ready to celebrate Easter. Anyway, when Jesus passed away at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when like the sky started turning black with clouds. Basically, a storm was brewing. Now, obviously, you could contribute that to, God being angry at humanity for, what they did to Jesus. Although, again, I'm sure there have been plenty of people who may have disproven that. I don't know. Actually, a lot of things in the Bible have not. Actually, there have been plenty. There have been things in the Bible that have been proven to be untrue, but there are plenty of other things in the Bible that are true that we have figured out. It's crazy. That took on my throat. Sorry. Anyway, I have a Hot Ones episode to talk about. So, Kieran Culkin, who is known for being on HBO Succession, which is in its final season right now. And there were a couple questions about playing on Succession. Particularly the idea of, you're leaving a character that you played for so long behind. Like, how do you feel? And for Kieran Culkin, in this case, Kieran Culkin plays a Roman. Is it Roman? Yeah, Roman. And he's like, maybe the depression hasn't, set in yet. In the end, I'm glad, we're ending because I didn't want to get bored with the character. What I did, that was enough. You know what? It's exactly like when they retired Ash Ketchum. I mean, I guess you can make the argument they should have retired him years ago. But for Ash Ketchum, what we got was enough. He became a champion, and being a Pokemon Master isn't really more of a title. It's really more of a state of mind. And, state of mind and how, what do you feel constitutes? He asked himself the important questions. That's enough. That's what you needed. Same thing with Kieran Culkin leaving Succession. As well as Roman's, his favorite Roman quote, which is, Sandy is barely alive. You could tell him to go, I'm not going to say that word, eat his own diaper, and his only response will be, wow. Yeah, there's a word I've been trying not to say this year on camera. Right there. So there you go. Let's see. He talked about the worst thing an audience member can do during a live performance, which was so funny because he was given a monologue. He took an extra long pause, and there was this one old lady in the front row who said, "Is it the end?" That's funny. That's actually really funny. He talked about who would be the most successful wrestler on Broadway, and he said Dave Bautista. Yeah, I buy that. Dave Bautista's awesome. Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. He was the muscular bad guy from Spectre. And Dave Bautista's got range. He could totally do it. He talked about the logistics of trying to put together a monologue for SNL, which was crazy. And so he didn't even care about the sketches. He wanted to nail the monologue. Let's see. He talked about how much of a disgusting how disgusting of an eater that he is, which, you know what, I gotta admit, I personally tend to eat fast. I wouldn't call myself messy, but sometimes eating fast can be disgusting. I've been working on that though, so I can relate. Because Kieran Culkin talked about the story about like he was on his, because he just asked his, because the woman he would later go on to be his wife, he was on like their first date, and Kieran Culkin's like, man, I'm actually eating really fast. Have I always done that? But don't worry, ladies. If we're ever on a date, I would try and eat slow for you. Well, it'd be slow for my pace. Let's be honest. Like, I guarantee you, like, slow for me is still like better. Like best case scenario, fast walking for others in terms of pace. You know. But I've been trying. Okay. This is the second week that Hot Ones has done this. Second week in a row, actually. And, well, basically, Sean asked him, what's his Mount Rushmore of Nintendo games? He said, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Oh, sorry. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Yeah, so, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Where's the fourth one? Where is the fourth one? This is exactly like they did with Florence Pugh the week before, where Florence Pugh is doing her Mount Rushmore of cheeses that absolutely need to be on a cheese plate. She's like, goat, Gouda, cheddar. She said it in such a seductively whispery voice. It was kind of hot, not gonna lie. Don't worry, I'm not gonna. Please, Florence Pugh is like, she's young enough to be like either my little sister or my baby sister or my niece. You kidding me? No way. Sorry, age gap. I don't want to be like that creepy old guy dating like the young girl. I don't want to do that. That's creepy. I mean, honestly, I'd rather date someone a little older than me, for being honest. Hey, listen, I'm 6'4". Chances are I'm gonna look creepy no matter who I'm with. But at least if they're older than I am, it looks like I'm basically their giant, very obedient manservant who cares about them very much. As opposed to, like, if I was older than them, you know, I'd be like the creepy old guy who's only doing what she says in order to be with her. I mean, technically, no matter how old she would be, I'd be with her no matter what. But, you know, for me being someone just a little older than I am, that's good for me. And I do got my eye on somebody. But I'll save that for another day. So anyway, actually, I just talked about Florence Pugh's Mount Rushmore of like what cheese should be on a cheese plate. This particular girl I like, she's totally into like the whole charcuterie cheese board stuff. My kind of gal. Anyway, so second week in a row where Sean Evans asked what that person's Mount Rushmore of yada 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 is, and we only get 3 out of 4. I'm totally blaming this on the editor. That editor knows exactly what he's doing. Well, by knows exactly what he's doing, I mean he knows what he did. Quit cutting out the final thing on the Mount Rushmore. A Mount Rushmore needs to have 4 things. We're only getting 3. Stop it. Seriously, it's not hard. I mean, it's only about, listen, I have no idea how to edit. There's no magic or smoke and mirrors here. What you see is what you're legitimately getting out of me. The point is, when I tell you a Mount Rushmore or something, I'm going to give you a Mount Rushmore. All 4 things, done. That's what I do. Best believe I ain't going to change that. Okay. Okay, when you got to the bomb, and keep in mind, Kieran Culkin actually is pretty solid in this episode. All together. In fact, I think he moved up to Sean Evans like Mount Rushmore, like people unfazed by the sauce. Like him, Jenny Ortega, Halle Berry. Okay, I forgot the last one, but at least that Mount Rushmore was finished. I can guarantee that Mount Rushmore was finished. Okay, So he got to the bottom. He talked about how to make a good grilled cheese. Actually, a grilled cheese would be very apropos for me today. I mean, it may be Good Friday, and this may be the last Friday during Lent, but it's still a Friday during Lent, meaning I can't have any meat today. Grilled cheese I can have, though. Seriously, grilled cheese and tomato soup is actually can be a go-to for a lot of Christians and Catholics on Fridays during Lent. Personally, though, seriously, I'm so upset. I haven't gotten any fish yet. I hope I get fish today. I'd like that. That'd be great. But we'll have to wait and see. He talked about what dangerous bangers are, which is basically like a movie where you watch a lot and you think it's great, but it's been a long time since you've seen it, but you still recommend it to other people, and that person watches it and like, this is like one of the worst movies ever. And you're like, what are you talking about? And then that person's like, have you seen it? And then that person sees it again, you're like, oh no, what if they're right? So basically, Big Trouble in Little China is exactly that kind of movie. But then we get to the last dab. And I thought this was a very impressive last dab challenge. Because Kieran Culkin once said that he has a parlor trick where he can look at a script once or twice and he's got it memorized. So basically they gave him a script to memorize. And he pretty much, they didn't actually show us what was on the script. So it's not like we could actually read the script and then listen to what Kieran Culkin says and say, okay, he actually got it all right. So they didn't give us the script to see if he actually got it right. But I don't know, maybe if in the upcoming, because there's going to be a season-ending Q&A for season 20 of Hot Ones. There has to be, especially for this one. I would not be surprised if someone actually asked Sean, can we actually see that script to see if Kieran Culkin wasn't messing around? Ooh. Actually, someone share this video to the first few Feast on Hot Ones. Because this will be my, if it actually makes it to the Q&A, I really want this video. Sean, did Kieran Culkin really memorize the script that you gave him? I want to know. How do we know? Because we the audience didn't see the script. That could have been completely, what Kieran Culkin said, for all we know, could have been completely made up. Again, it's the editor. Again, Mr. Editor, or Miss Editor, whoever happens to be doing the editing in the editing room, and therefore leaving stuff on the cutting room floor, stop cutting off the Mount Rushmore 3. There's supposed to be 4 things on Mount Rushmore. Seriously. Do it right. But this was a very good episode of Hot Ones. I mean, this was the 11th episode. And see, the season 20 finale, usually every season finale ends after 12 episodes. So the finale should be next week, but I've yet 200% confirmed. Usually the kind of guess that there winds up being is a dead giveaway. It's like, okay, this guest is on there. This is clearly meant to be a finale. How are they going to close out the season with this guest? We'll just have to wait and see. I hope you'll like this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy the video. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk to me, I'm always going to be here to lend you an all back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.